Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Good afternoon. Here is the national news from BGI TV, Baba Bagide Imo TV. I am Mori Rabila Lawal. First are the major headlines. Tinubu Shetima gets certificate of return Wednesday. Don't set Nigeria on fire, CSOs warns politicians. And on sports, Boso confident Flying Eagles will beat Uganda. Now, the news in detail. The Independent National Electoral Commission has disclosed that it will present the certificate of return to the President-elect Bola Tinubu and Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima today. The Punch report that electoral umpire declared the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate Bola Tinubu as the President-elect during the early hours of Wednesday. Tinubu, a former Lagos State governor, was declared the President-elect after he polled 8,794 votes and 726 to win the 2023 presidential election. The Inec chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, announced Tinubu as the winner at the International Coalition Center in Abuja. Declaring Tinubu as the winner, the Inec board said that Tinubu Bola Ahmed of the APC, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and returned elected. Tinubu won the election ahead of other contenders, the People's Democratic Party candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the Labour Party candidate Peter Obi, and the New Nigerian People's Party candidate Rabiu Kwankwaso. To the next story. A civil society organization, Center for Leadership and Justice, has called on politicians to desist from eating up the polity. The call by the CSO is coming on the heels of recent development as a result of the unfolded events from the outcome of Saturday's presidential election. Convener of Center for Leadership and Justice, Mr. Emmanuel Omoyan, said utterance by political headwinds in the country stakeholders is bringing the heat by stakeholders capable of setting the country on fire. He stated this against the backdrop of calls by the People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, and African Democratic Congress, ADC, that the 2023 general election be cancelled over alleged irregularities that have marked the exercise across the country. But Omayin said any aggrieved party should approach the court instead of calling for the cancellation of the election. Moving on to the next story. Oil marketers on Tuesday said many depots had stopped loading premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, due to the apprehension caused by the collation of results of the general elections across the country. It was also gathered that while filling stations operated by major marketers and the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited were selling petrol between 194 naira and 200 naira per litre, other outlets operated by independent marketers dispensed the product between 250 and 340 naira per litre. This was despite the insistence of the federal government that there was no approval for an increase in the pump price of petrol, coupled with the government's demand that PMS should not be dispensed above the approved rates. Government will not approve any increase of PMS price secretly without due consultations with the relevant stakeholders. The president has not directed the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority or any agency for that matter to increase the price of fuel. This is not the time for any increase in pump price of PMS, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timothy Silva, had stated recently. Going on to the next story. The Kogi Central Senatorial candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Barrister Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan, has rejected the result of the senatorial election. She rejected the result over manipulations of the processes, doctoring of figures, cancellation of polling units where she won, and invasion of many polling units by armed thugs loyal to the All Progressive Congress. A statement issued by Natasha campaign organization on Tuesday said the electoral process in Okene Central local government area was highly manipulated in connivance with the electoral officials. APC thugs invaded many polling units in Okene local government, chased out voters and snatched ballot boxes which were filled in private residence, the campaign organization said. It further accused APC and officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission for disregarding electoral guidelines, adding that they fraudulently rigged Okene local government area with high number of overvoting. Moving on to the next story from Ebonyi. Gunmen have killed the traditional ruler of Ume Kilzwa community, Eze Ewa, during an invasion of his residence in Eza North local government area of Ebonyi State. Punch Metro gathered that until his death on Monday night, Ewa was the chairman of the Eza North Traditional Rulers Council in the state. The executive governor of the state, Dave Umahi, who confirmed the development on Tuesday, said he had directed security agents to spare no resources in unmasking the killers of the monarch. Describing the death of the monarch as a callous and barbaric act, Umahi, during the press conference at the new government house, Centenary City, Abakaliki, said that his son informed him of the incident while speaking from his hideout. Lastly, on the national news this hour is sports story. Flying Eagles head coach Issa Laden Bosso believes he has men to push Uganda's hip-hops off the way in their Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations quarterfinal draw on Thursday and reach the FIFA Under-20 World Cup final schedule for Indonesia 20th May till 11th June. Both teams clashed at the 22,000 capacity Suez Canal Authority Stadium in Ismailas as from 7 p.m. Egypt time, 6 p.m. Nigerian time on Thursday. And the Flying Eagles tactician says that while he does not underrate the Hip-Hops, he trusts his charge to make Nigeria proud and reach the tournament's last four. Before we left our training camp in Morocco, the NFF president Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusau told us clearly that the first objective should be getting a ticket to the FIFA World Cup. We are at that most important stage now and we cannot afford to falter. That ends the national news from BGI TV this hour. Before we go, some major headlines. Tinubu Shetima gets certificate of return today. We also brought to you, don't set Nigeria on fire. CSO warns politicians. We also brought to you, fuel hits 300 naira per litre as marketers halts loading. And on sport, Bosso confident Flying Eagles will beat Uganda. For more stories on our YouTube, the handle is Bababagide Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. After the declaration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president-elect, do not forget, on the 11th this month comes the governorship election in some states in Nigeria. Let's deal carefully. I am Morire Rebila Lawa. Good afternoon.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.